I'm going to unmute my microphone here on Zoom. So it should be on. Yep. All right. IMC TV. Check 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check 1, 2. Doing the audio quality check. My microphone here. Oh yeah, that sounds great. On Zoom. Okay. So there's a couple women down to my right having they've been talking for about the last half hour, and isn't that funny? The same woman who was next to me when I just started my live stream just showed up. Isn't that funny how that works? Now, normally I would feel like you see someone having a one-sided conversation on their phone, and it's like, some people might think it's rude or unorthodox, or like, what are they doing? But I look at them and I'm like, what are you doing? So keep showing up. Today's topic is how Stoicism saved my life. It was originally going to be how IMC saved my life, but one thing that AZD and my fellow IMC brothers say is how Stoicism saved their life. Now, I have no idea what Stoicism is or was like. I get in and I earn these beads. Like I was in for maybe a year or so, maybe a little more. And it wasn't until I was able to attend the online advanced peace camps, because I was earning more money. I was, especially when I was deployed, I was like half paying off my bills, like my credit card debt. And it's just so crazy how fast, like you get this card, and you're not thinking every time you swipe, and then before you know it, it's maxed out and you're applying for a new one. And then you got several of them maxed out. Your tens of thousands of dollars student loan debt. You made a poor financial decision with a former business partner, and then before you know it, it's all gone, and it's like, oh shoot, what happened? And then now I understand why people fall on the deep end, and some people kill themselves. It's a serious subject. It's a serious topic. I'm gonna put this here for now. I was charging my battery. I wasn't paying attention because I was at the gym. I've been getting some good workouts in lately. Shout out to one of my IMC Nation brothers. I'm going to keep him anonymous right now because I got a feeling he's getting so busy where pretty soon, unless you're IMC Nation, you won't be able to afford him. And that's the truth. Like, not to sound arrogant, which I've been told before, but it's the truth. All right, I can start recording on the computer now. What up? It's TK here, IMC Nation. Welcome to Beyond Clarity, live on IMC TV. Today's topic is how Stoicism saved my life. Now, I was originally going to call it how IMC Nation saved my life, but AZD, Jay Grudev, AZD, Jay Grudev, Captain Chris, Jay Grudev, IMC Nation, Jay Grudev, all the IMC Nation brothers, getting chills right now. That means we're on something. Where do he says ACD now whenever I say, whenever I like quote ACD or Kevin Chris or any IMC Nation member, like respectfully any member of IMC Nation, it's how I interpret it. Now, they may not say it verbatim. The reason why is because sometimes things can be taken out of context, and if someone's going through toxicity or someone's going through something, it's like I'm just pretty much saving my butt, because I have so much respect and admiration for these men, where I respectfully say, like, don't quote me on this, it's not verbatim, but the way I took it, AZD says how Stoicism saved his life. Like, I had no idea what Stoicism was, I really didn't start like reading books till like my 30s. I would say upper 20s. Like, I I always stayed away from it because I had a hard time sitting still and focusing, and like I was so bad, I thought I had a learning disability. Going to get some tests and come find out I'm just not interested in what I was learning. And here I am holding this my phone here. But this is how we're going to teach today because I was going to get a good workout in. I can keep going. Like I've been through so much the last few days. I don't want to like get too personal into it, but I just I'm going through a breakup, and it literally broke my heart. It broke her heart. It reminded me why I was single for the last 7 years because of this. But instead of feeling sorry for myself and being down in the dumps and doing and saying things I later regret, I already said a couple things where it's like, well, I didn't want to say them, but they had to be said. And it wouldn't have been this bad had, the communication would have been better. And Jake would have Captain Chris. I've been staffing for a couple years now, and and sometimes I'd ask him for advice. It would be, people that you respect, their time is so valuable. Think about when you ask them a question, but before you even ask the question, like, is this an answer I could get myself? And sometimes he'll offer it after staff meetings, and I'll say it. And there's a couple times where I end up doing the opposite of what he told me to do. Like he would tell me to do something, and then I do the opposite. And with my, I don't like saying ex or anything, but my former girlfriend, sometimes I would say something, and then it would take a couple times to repeat, and then I look and I'm like, wow, she reminds me a lot like myself. Everything that she's going through. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I understand why things turned out the way that they did, and I have no one to blame but myself. And I am taking this experience and it's making me stronger. I'm learning from it. I'm growing from it. If it wasn't for IMC Nation, I just got out of off of Alex Palacio's live stream. It's just funny how synchronicity and how things work. I gotta remember I'm looking at my screen here, YouTube. I just got out of Phase 3's IMC Nation Business Report live on IMC TV, and three of the top, two of the crew said like guys that like went through, they hit the bottom, they learn from it, and then they rise up to the top, and now they're like heavy hitters making money. Like these guys are, all three of them are bosses. And if you want to like improve on your business skills, get more business savvy, like any area you want to improve in your life, get on Base 3's business report. It's on IMC TV. Reach out to me if you want the time. I just got out of their live. Alex Palacio, Base 2, San Jose. Base 3 is in LA. Base 2 is San Jose. Base 1, of course, San Jose. Alex Palacio, Base 2, who I stayed with last month when I went to a beast camp, when I manifested a credit line where I was able to invest in myself. And I'm not going to go into detail with what happened with my breakup, but it affected me a lot. Alex Palacio goes on. He was just taking a break from pretty much getting signatures. He's out in California working with Freedom Ranger. Like you can see people talking like, I always refrained from politics, but when it affected me personally, like I stopped watching the news and TV, like I almost want to say almost like 15 years ago when I got introduced to the Secret documentary by Roddenberry. And I come to find out like 13 out of the 14 stories are negative. So I just stopped, and then come to find out a few years ago that a lot of it is, let's just say you want to do research from other sources that are not being funded by the same person. Let's just say that. So when I was at the end of my 20-year Air Force National Guard career. I was in my last year, 19. You know, they wanted me to put something on my face. They wanted me to put something in my body I didn't want. And I'm like, doing I'm like, something doesn't seem right. And then I see a teacher who I really respect, AZD, sharing these things. I see this gentleman who recruited me, Yoga Chris at the time, not Captain Chris. What up, Elijah? Good seeing you. It's been a while. I still want to answer. I still want to talk about. I remember the last time you were on one of my streams, it was about getting a written signed contract with a friend you want to do business with. We can talk about that, or you can personal message me if you want to discuss further. Let me know, brother. I'm going to mute you for now, but if you want to talk later, I'll unmute you. But today's topic is how Stoicism saved my life. So if there's any Stoic phrases or quotes you'd like to share, you can already tell what my favorite one is. Be ready to speak on that. If not, talk to you soon, brother. They're posting these things that they had me watch a couple documentaries, you know, Fall of Cabal, Out of Shadows. I'm like, it made me sick to my stomach, so sick where I pretty much laid in bed for a day. Like when I used to get super depressed, I just lay in bed. I eat fat kid food and I just sulk. I do a lot of that, like watching things that didn't serve me. And so much to the point where I was getting suicidal thoughts, like really bad. It was so bad where I was just thinking, like, what is like the quickest, painless, because I was a pussy at the time, way I could like off myself and just done with it, you know, just write a letter, sorry, you know, like I could already tell like how my mom would react to it. And my dad, but my mom really bad. My brothers, you know, all the people I let down. And I was just like, something inside of me is like, no, you know, keep showing up. I want to see like if I get better, what would happen on the other side? And where was I going with that? Oh yeah, Alex Palacio. There's so much going on in the world right now. It's like, what are you going to do about it? You know, it's be the change you want to see. So shout out to Alex Palacio going live. I was able to share my situation and I just felt better. Like, picture yourself, you know, a painful heartbreak that you went through. What do you do? Who do you talk to? Who do you reach out to? You know, I was thinking like, man, this is like 12 years ago, my upper 20s. And it was really bad because it was during Christmas break. I was a bad communicator. I didn't know how to communicate. She broke up with me for all the right reasons. And I drank. I ended up drinking like a lot that night. I went out. I met a pretty girl, but I wasn't able to talk to her because all I could think about was just like the breakup and her. And then I met another woman shortly after that. And I was just kind of like low-level misogynist, like my upbringing and stuff. You know, I love my parents. My mom did the best that she could, but she would settle for low-value men and bring him in. And the last one was worse because he would like talk down to me and just belittle me the whole time. And it was like, it's just like stuck in me. And that's why I'm still learning, but it got so bad for me where I'm like, okay, I need to get into something. So shout out to Yoga Bliss Chris, now Captain Chris of INC Nation, for following up with me and giving me in, because I'm taking this breakup so much better. And it's not just that, it's like, it was so great to have someone, like first woman I said I love you to and meant it in like over 20 years. Being, especially in the current situation I'm in, like I'm staying with my dad. I say he's beating cancer, but it's been a couple of years now. He's pretty much crippled, and he really has no one he can count on. And it was a very humbling situation for me because it is a big wake up call where it's like God's telling me like this is what's going to happen if you stop taking care of yourself and you don't have, you know, people you can count on. Welcome to INC Nation. So going back a couple years ago, I get back from my last appointment from Al Salim, Kuwait, and I have some money saved up, and I'm kind of back and forth about going to a live East camp. And then Captain Chris was like, "Pop, you know, Mama bird pushing the baby bird out of the nest." I'm like, okay, I'm doing it because whenever I'd go like outside my comfort zone, I would like fall back and like, oh no, this just doesn't feel right. When something's good for me, I go into self-sabotage, self-destructive mode. And then come to find out, I go, and then I go through that pain, that healing, and then I feel like 10 times better, and it's like, so every time that the feeling comes where it's like, no, 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 don't go. I'm like, oh, yes, but remember, you know how you're gonna feel on the other side. So just go. That's why I say keep showing up. And don't just show up, but show up like real, full, authentic self. And I just lost my train of thought, and that's okay. Getting better at doing this when there's people around looking at you. So Sunday after AZB speaks, he's going around and throwing these out, these meetings where people, IMC Nation members, they are in good standing, they're showing up, they're doing good things, and they're investing in themselves, attending the advanced peace camps. He said, "You'll give him this," and he gave me mine. And I recorded it. That reminds me, I gotta save it. I'll never forget it. But there's this coat of arms that we also earn, and they have Stoic phrases on the outside. And you know what, Instagram? If you want to continue watching, click the link in my bio. And this exact moment right now, I was a freeloader watching AZD's lives for free. And then he would say, like, spend your money on dumber stuff. Don't thank me, pay me. And then finally, it's like $97 a month. I put my money on dumber stuff. It's finally invested. And here we are. So click the link in my bio. See you on the other side. All right. I'm going to quick. All right. So we're going to start with one that I completely forgot about, probably because I can never pronounce it. Vitam Aut Culpam. The top one there. Vitam Aut Culpam. What does Vitam Aut Culpam mean? I'm glad you asked. Let's look it up here. Because even though I should know these by heart, it's being live. One second. Okay. All right. What does Vitam Aut Culpam mean? We can take this off now. All right. Vitam Aut Culpam. For life or until misbehavior. Used to qualify originally a feudal tenure and later appointed to office. Okay, for life or until misbehavior. So what does that mean to you? Like when you first hear it, Vitam Aut Culpam, for life or until misbehavior. All right, well, what it means to me, well, and that's one great thing I learned too, is that when I was in Landmark Forum before I joined IMC Nation, and the reason why I transitioned is because there was great leaders in Landmark, and it helped me with so much, but a lot of the leaders were not living the lifestyle I wanted to live. Like, look at your teacher or coach and see if they're happy. Like, are they happy with their relationship? Are they happy with their life? Are they holding integrity? Are they behaving themselves? Are they being true to their word? Are they leading by example? No? Well, start looking at different tribes. I recommend IMC Nation. Ladies, be yourself in IMC Nation, warrior fighting monk. If you're not, then good luck to you. So, IMC Nation, like I am an IMC Nation for life or until I get kicked out. Now, when I first joined, I was I'm going to give you the PG-13 version because I'm on YouTube land, and if you want the R-rated real version, get on IMC Nation. You can be my member, you can be my guest, and it could help you with a lot of things. So I was not I was not being respectful. I was not paying attention. I I just had a hard time focusing. One reason why AZB has us put our cameras on is because he wants to know we're paying attention. Like this is serious stuff. Like you ever been in school and kid nodding off or talking and just being disrespectful. Like I get it. Like even if the teacher is good and it is holding people's attention, like people's attention span is so low these days. What up? I'm gonna call you Ayaz because I can't pronounce your name. Um, Today's topic is how Stoicism saved my life. Really, IMC Nation saved my life, but I'm talking about the first phrase right now. Ad vitam aut culpam, for life until misbehavior. And I'm sharing how I almost quit or got kicked out of IMC Nation when I first joined. So there's actually two examples. I'm going to share the example. And if you have anything like to share later, put it in the chat. Okay, he just got off, so stage fright. Anyways, hey Elijah, is the audio quality good? Just give me a thumbs up or type yes in the chat. So I'm sure he could tell. Okay, good. Thanks, Elijah. He could tell I was depressed. I was really low. He actually compared me to my favorite Marvel superhero, Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one. But Tony Parker, he called me. Peter Parker is his name, but he called me Tony Parker. And I was just thinking, like, how did this guy know? Like, that was my favorite superhero. Like, out of all of them, he chose that one. And he's like, this is the guy that you can be, like, that you're becoming. And I'm like, but my reaction was like, yeah, yeah, you know. And shout out to Cornelius Cortez, demigod. I don't see him too often, but Navy vet, hero, um, who reached out to me, who pretty much called me after class because AZB was probably like, this guy's gonna fucking kill himself, you know. So someone talked to him, reached out to him, and it was pretty much like a now or never thing. Like they didn't say it, but it was like, this is what's gonna happen if you stop showing up. Like if you continue to do what you're doing. And I gave him, I'm getting chills right now, him, Captain Chris, and Oracle, Jose Raul Cervantes, shout outs because those three at one time reached out to me and said like, hey, why haven't you been showing up lately? You know, think about the guy that called on you and was like, hey, where you been? You know, what's going on? And think about like who you could do that for, that person that's counting on you. So that's what ad vitam aut culpam mean, you know, for life till misbehavior. Like I gotta behave because I used to be a really bad drinker and I did some other stuff too I'm not too proud of, and I can share in a private Zoom with IMC Nation only members or people who want to be IMC Nation. The reason why I say IMC Nation members is because we are under a contract where we're like, we trust each other. And unfortunately, there's some guys that got out. One of them had this Memento Mori tattooed on his chest. I considered a brother. I was actually going to meet him in person one day, and now he's no longer IMC Nation. Like, what happened? Like, I reached out to him. He said it was money. I'm like, okay, I can understand. He was like a general contractor, and like a lot of those guys are just getting by. But I was like, if you don't have $97 that you can invest in yourself, like, there's something wrong there. There's something you need to give up. That's all I'm saying. How do I know that? Because I used to be that guy, and sometimes I go back in there. So I just broke up with my girlfriend. It's heartbreaking. There's some things I want to say. I didn't put it on social media, thankfully. I want to go out and drink. The feeling of wanting to drink and just drink my sorrows away and just get blackout drunk is there. But I know that I'd maybe do or say something I later regret. I can't take back. I might get into an accident, and I know for a fact I'd be good for shit for a good week. You know, I get really bad hangovers. Another reason why I quit. So that's what ad vitam aut culpam means. So next time you think about doing that thing that you don't really want to do, think about how it will affect your business, your family, your entire tribe. All right, what's next? Amor Fati. Amor Fati, love of fate, the welcoming of all life experiences as good. Oh my God, I'm feeling that one. My breakup, um, it hurt when I found out. When I found out, it literally made me sick. And then I realized how she felt, even though I communicated it with her. This is how things are going to be, and she still did it to me. And it's like, you know what? It made me sick. Thank God I knew about tuning in nature. So I went a few miles out in the country. Like we have the biggest march here, Horicon March, and I went for a walk and I got out in nature. And then what do you know? One of my RBMC brothers called me just at the right time, and I told him what was going on. It's like, see, everything happens for a reason. It was like perfect timing. So I can sit in the dumps and feel sorry for myself. That living back at home, where I have more bad memories than good, helping a man I absolutely despise. But everything happens for a reason, and you can sit and feel sorry for yourself, or you can actually pick yourself up and do something for it. So I'm glad I had this experience. Like, it was the first woman I communicated with what I want in a relationship. And although she wasn't okay with it at first, she was willing to work with me. And we parted ways a few times and got back together until it was stronger, until towards the end. It just turned out the way it was. And she was giving me the signs, telling me what she wanted. And I kept telling her, well, this is how it is. I'm not changing. And one thing I learned about women is that they think that you'll change, or they think that they can change you. And then something so bad happens where you just never want to see each other, talk to each other again. And it's heartbreaking, it's so sad. But Amor Fati, love of fate, love of one's fate, the welcoming of all life's experiences are good. So no matter how bad the situation is that you got yourself into, or that you thought you could trust someone and they took advantage of you, and then you find yourself in the situations again, and it's like, how did this person get so much money out of me, or how did this this person steal my idea, and leave me high and dry, or how did this person kick me out of my own group? How did this woman or man betray me? What can you learn from that experience, and how can it make you stronger or grow? So this, like I said, if it wasn't for IMC Nation, I wouldn't be handling this situation I'm in. Like, it just feels so good to be able. And I noticed in our Telegram group, someone else is going through it too. It seems like a little worse actually than me. And there was another guy in there that was giving me advice and all the stuff. It's like, dude, I want you on my live stream. Like, I want you guys on. Like, if you're comfortable with it, share. Like I asked if you okay, sorry, that was my mistake. Don't unmute yourself. If there's anything you'd like to share, or if you want to speak, like if you're not comfortable speaking publicly, you can talk privately. Like, we are part of AZD's 300, and he wants us to do what he's doing. So I'm not going to say their names, but they're spitting some fire in there, and I was like, man, this is helping me out. And all I put in there was like, dude, I'm going through it too, and it felt so good to know that I'm not in it alone. No matter what you're going through, someone has gone through a little worse, and if they're helping you out, imagine how you could help someone out. So, all right, that was Amor Fati, love of fate. Next one, Carpe Diem, seize the day. On the right here. Now, this is one I've been using recently. Used to urge someone to make the most of present time and give thought to the future. Now, I've been, for the longest time, I would struggle getting up in the morning. I don't know if it's in my genes or it's because like my first stepdad would make me take naps when I wasn't even tired as a little boy. Like I remember laying there, it was summertime too. I wanted to be outside playing. And I'm laying in bed, like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I laying in bed? Like, am I even tired? It was so weird. And I'd be so down and or depressed when I got older, where like I a couple attempts going to school or university, just being out, like I think around people would take so much energy from me where I would have to take naps. Like I'd come home exhausted. Now I understand why my godson would come home after high school, after school in general, and take a couple hour nap because it exhausted him so much. Where just being around different energies, listening to a teacher, like trying to teach something they're not really passionate about, probably not fulfilled in their personal life. And then you're like, oh, man, this sucks. Like, and then like looking at what's considered cool and like, okay, that's cool. Like, and now I look at the cool kids today and I'm like, oh man, I feel sorry for you. Like, thank God I didn't get caught in that crowd. Um, I forgot which one we're talking about. Carpe Diem, seize the day. So I joined Lieutenant Guerrero's Telegram group not too long ago, and we had a focus on um, one of the Stoic sayings. And I was looking in Memento Mori, I'm saving the best for last. But I'm like, I want to change it up. And then sure enough, Carpe Diem seize the day. It's like, he's like, focus on one word or phrase in the morning. And I wish the other guy stayed on because he was on there too. It makes you wonder, it's like, are they busy? I know it's me. I'm improving on my speaking and communication skills, but Carpe Diem seize the day. Like that was the last thing I thought about at night before I fell asleep. And the first thing I thought about, well, the second thing I thought about when I woke up in the morning, because the first thing was hitting the snooze alarm or scheduling like my alarm, where right when I get up, like I won't be late for work. I'll make it just on time. And I'm like, no, like that's been like the last 20 years or so. Back and forth, like I'm over it. Seize the day. And if you fall asleep with the right mindset, like you plan on what you're going to do the next morning, you will wake up before your alarm clock. Believe me, it may take some time, but it's been happening to me a lot lately. And instead of like sleeping more, it may feel good to lay there in bed and sleep more, but getting up when you wake up, you feel energized and you don't feel groggy and like in the brain fog. And I've done it too many times, and I still catch myself at times. But so Carpe Diem, seize the day. Like, what are you going through where you could seize the day, where you can improve on, whether it's your workout, your business, that hobby, that personal hobby that you've always thought about doing. And then fast forward 20 years later, and you still have that passion and drive. And then you connect with others who have that passion and drive. And then instead of like, oh, you can't do that, or you can't make money, or your so-called like friends or relatives like, oh, you gotta be realistic. Be just as miserable as me. And then you like connect with these other people who share the same dream and passion. I want to be on board with you. To seize the freaking day. So that's all I gotta say about that. All right, now my last and favorite one, Memento Mori. Remember that you have to die. I always say, one day you're gonna die. Um, it's a reminder that one day it's inevitable. You are going to die. And one thing, reason why I like Memento Mori is because I like seeing cool pictures on Instagram. Oh, you're welcome, Ayaz. All right, it's just me now, but that's okay because the other guy on the other side is watching this. One day you're gonna die. So what does that mean? What does it sound to you? So like I was saying before, that thing that you always wanted to do, it's like, why not do it? One day you're gonna be on your deathbed. You're not gonna have as much energy. Who knows? It could happen just like that, like a car accident. Someone's paraplegic before they know it, and they're like, man, I wish I would have went on that hiking trip, or I wish I would have done this before this happened. And then what did I hear Tom Bilyeu back when I was like really listening, like religiously listening to motivational quotes every morning when I was going to a soul destroying job during the winter time when I moved back up here from Florida. So that was a definitely humbling crossroads in my life. He said, hell is meeting the person that you could have been when you die, and heaven is meeting the person that you could have been and seeing yourself looking back at you, like looking in the mirror, like, yeah, you made it. So imagine like dying and then seeing this like like a movie of all the things you could have accomplished. Like, what if you would have taken that risk? You know, what if you would have gone with your gut instinct? What if you would have said no to that person that you just had a hunch that was going to take advantage of you? What if you would have went past your self-sabotage, self-destructive mode and overcame that, and instead of blowing your money on dumb stuff, you invested your money on something that was good for you? And that's what I feel like I'm going through right now. Like, before I joined IMC Nation, I was like in my mid approaching upper 30s, and I was like, I'm not getting any younger. I still feel the way I feel. I still have these dreams and, you know, aspirations. Let's see what this is all about. And then you meet guys that are mostly, you know, some younger, but some older, that are just like living the life that they always wanted to live, and they're getting better and better. And it's like, it doesn't really matter the age. It's like a lot of it's energy. And it's like you're all on the same team and you're rooting for each other. And, you know, with age comes wisdom, but I'm feeling younger than I ever did. And one thing is working out really helps with it. You know, meditation, stoicism, it's all part of the ACD process. So remember, one day you are going to die. So do that thing that you always wanted to do and keep showing up. So I'm going to close it out because there's some things I need to take care of. It's like no one is on right now, so I can close it. So with that being said, show up for yourself, show up for others, showing up.